Hey everyone, and welcome to the weekend. If you watch my videos, you know that I'm a fan of toasted bourbon, and I was ecstatic to find this bottle at a liquor store by me in East Brunswick, New Jersey. We're going to review Fiddler Toasted Straight Bourbon Whiskey, finished in toasted barrels. This is cask strength, 119.4 proof. And yes, the store I'm talking about is the store in East Brunswick, New Jersey that I did a video on yesterday, and I had mentioned all the great stuff that they have there, stuff I can't find anywhere else and at very reasonable prices. So, on to the Fiddler. I've had a sample of Fiddler once before, and it was the chin music, and I really liked it. So, I knew if I ever found a Fiddler again, I would want to jump in it. So, as I explained in the previous video, the store has the regular stuff on the shelf, and then they have a room in back. They have some other stuff, special stuff that they don't keep on the shelf, and stuff you just don't see anywhere else. This was one of them. And of the Fiddlers, my eye went right to this. And the guy who opened the room so I can look in there said of the toasted line, this is the one. Because I think they have toasted rye, and I'm totally not into toasted rye. I have tried toasted rye, but it wasn't what I was looking for. And actually, he was the same way. So I was all over this, and here we are. The deal with this is cask strength, 119.4 proof. It is distilled in Indiana, so it is MGP sourced, and then finished and bottled by ASW Distillery, Atlanta, Georgia. So, to that point, the distilling process, it is MGP sourced, but then they put their own stamp on it. Per the name Fiddler, they fiddle with it, and that's really where the name did come from. They fiddle with it to make their own touch, which is what a lot of craft distilleries do when they do source from MGP, and that's the whole greatness of it. You can source the same grains and then put your own stamp on it. That's what they did here. Now, all of this information right here, full disclosure, I love it. I'm going to read what's on there. All this information is right here on the bottle. It is batch 25-001. It is aged 6 years, 9 months. Mash bill. This is a really high wheat mash bill. This is a wheated bourbon. 51% corn, 45% wheat, 4% malted barley. I mean, it was a few points differently. This would be a wheat whiskey, but this is a very high wheat bourbon. Honestly, the highest that I really have had as far as a wheated bourbon, that's still a wheated bourbon, not a wheat whiskey, is the Bardstown High Wheat. That's 39%. This is 45%. So then it says the finish, and I have to read this. This is like handwritten, so some of it's hard to read. A couple of scratches on here. It says 3 years, 1 month. And that's a long time for a finish, and they mean the toasted finish. So just to back up, I'm assuming the age means the entire process, the 6 years, 9 months. I'd have to think that. This is not a 9-year-old bourbon. So I'd have to think the entire age is that amount of time. Of that age, then the finish is a part of that. Let's just say with that. Char 2 and 3, toast, medium and heavy. And then it just says, of course, the alcohol by volume, 59.7, which is 119.4 proof. So again, like other toasted barrels, like other toasted bourbons, it begins its aging process in your, charred new oak barrels like any other bourbon, and then it's transferred to a new toasted oak barrel where it finishes the process right there. And that imparts all sorts of different flavors, vanilla, a lot of sweet notes, dessert notes, and stuff that I love. There's a lot of breakfast notes in there too, things like that. So again, this is, of course, a toasted wheat. Now, the other thing I just want to mention before we move on, this, I believe, is my first toasted wheated bourbon. I believe every toasted bourbon I've had has been a toasted rye bourbon, where rye is a secondary grain. I don't recall, at least as far as I'm not thinking of it right now, unless there's something I'm missing, I don't recall a toasted bourbon that was a toasted wheated bourbon. And so the fact that it's a toasted bourbon, such a high wheat percentage like this was just for 45%. The distillery I've tried before, totally excited. And then to boot, of course, it is non-chill filtered. So I think that is a great thing. I'm just going to spin the camera on the glass, and then we're going to get started. Here we go. You can see the front of the bottle right here. And if you want to pause to read the specifics, same stuff I just read. And if you want to pause to read the back. Let's see what kind of cork pop we got on this. Not bad. Nice cork pop. Looks like kind of thick and viscous here. Kind of looks like almost like maple syrup. One of the very tasty notes I'm kind of expecting from this, but we'll see. All right, let's give it a nose. As a certain profile from a toasted bourbon. Now, I got to remember, this is a toasted wheated bourbon. In my head, this is going to be a little bit different than the toasted rye bourbons, but we'll see. Well, let's just get right into it. Cheers. Wow, this is good. And it is different in a good way. This is a different type of a toasted bourbon. Maybe it's because of the wheat profile in there, in the mash bill rather, and the high wheat. Because again, I say it again, I've never had a toasted bourbon that wasn't a rye bourbon with the rye component as the second grain, not wheat. Instead of wheat, rather. And this is wheat and a high percentage of that. Almost a toasted wheat whiskey. And again, 51% corn. This just makes it as a bourbon. And like I said, a little bit different if it would be a wheat whiskey. So this is a different toasted for sure. And a nice proof of 119.4. There's definitely, I definitely get the wheat component on this, but definitely I think the toast is coming through. It is just different to me. And I'm trying to settle on. I mean, I like it. I'm just trying to. I have a weird feeling that this is going to open up more as it stays open. It's just different. I'm trying to wrestle with the profile I'm getting from this. So I love toasted bourbons. This one is a different one, and let me just pause one. Yeah, just did a couple of tastes back and forth. So this is a different one. I'll put it this way. I definitely like this. I guess I maybe expected something a little different given the high wheat profile and given the toasted profile, but I think I need to kind of get more into this. Let's put it that way. This is good, but it's just different for me. And I think the different is because it's a different type of toast and a different type of a toasted bourbon being a very high wheat one. So everything about this, the transparency and all that, I love. When I had the chin music, it was just instant. This is different, and I think it's in a good way. But I'm going to get back to you on a follow up review after this. So I would say the verdict there is this is definitely good. This is different. I want to get more into this, but definitely happy I have this. I have a very, very confident feeling this is just going to get better each time I have it. So there are some bourbons where the profile is different, and I find sometimes you got to kind of get into it a little bit more, let it open up a little bit. This is one of them. This is probably one of the more different toasted bourbons that I've had, and I think this is going to end up being a very positive experience. Cheers. Take care.